Confused how to choose a course? I know that there are so many language apps are there and tutors are everywhere. Let's answer these questions to understand what precisely is the exam pattern of Goethe A1 certificate and which topics are deemed essential and should be comprehensively covered in A1 course in accordance with the prescribed pattern. Exam pattern. Like other language exams, even German A1 certification course consists of four modules: Hören, Lesen, Schreiben, and Sprechen. Means Hören means listening, Lesen means reading, Schreiben means writing, Sprechen means speaking. Now let us see individual modules and what is the duration and how many marks it is. Let us see. Let us go with Hören first. Hören is 20 minutes duration and it consists of 15 marks. This test has three parts: part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 1 played twice, and part 2 played only once, and part 3 again they play twice. In a part 1, it consists of 6 dialogues, which will be played twice, and each will be followed by a question with the 3 options. So the student has to select the right option from this multiple choice. To confuse a student, they mention the 3 options which is there in the answer. So you have to listen properly and you have to choose the right answer. So you'll have 6 short dialogues in the part 1, which they played twice. Coming to the part 2, it consists of 4 announcements. So you have to listen the announcements properly and you have to choose the right or wrong option. Whatever the question they mention in the question, like whatever the statement they mention in the question, you should choose the right answer. Now coming to the part 3, it played twice and you will have 5 audio messages and each will be followed by a question with the 3 answer options. One has to select the correct answer for the each question. So whenever you are practicing this Hören, you should listen the audio exercises with the open speaker, not with the earphones, because in the exam they don't provide earphones to you. Now coming to the lesson, the duration is 25 minutes, the marks is 15 marks, and this test has 3 parts. You have to read the short text message which is given in the part 1, and you have to answer 5 yes or no answers, yes or no questions for this module. And the second part consists of 10 advertisements from a newspaper or in the internet, and you have to do 5 tasks based on that. For each task, you will be given 2 ads to choose from, and you need to select the right one that is most relevant. Coming to the third part, there will be 5 announcements or even a signboards. So you have to check the signboard properly, and they have given a one task. So based on the signboard, whether the task is right or wrong, you have to choose the right or wrong options. Coming to the writing module. So the duration of this is 20 minutes and the marks is 15 marks. This test has 2 parts. One has to fill out a form and write the short message. So in the part 1, they will give you need to fill the form with the 5 points based on the text given. So to understand this text, you should have a good knowledge of framing the sentence, and especially the sentences with modal verbs, the sentences with perfect tense, the sentences with prepositions, vexel preposition usage, All these grammar topics are very much important when you are like performing the activities like this, especially even in the part 2 when you are writing the email also. You should know the usage of the haben verb, usage of the sein verb, and modal verbs, how to frame a sentence with the modal verbs, and placing the verb in the last place whenever you are using a helping verb. These things you should be aware when you are writing the statement. So, especially let us take this. There is a email given which you have to write with 30 words. One need to write a small letter or email which consists of 30 words, and it is very important to write one or two sentences for each and every point they mention in the question. Let us go with the third module. Third one is expression. Fourth one is expression. And the duration of this is 15 minutes and the marks is 15 marks. This test has three parts. This test has three parts, and one has to speak in a group. So in the first part, so they have given the fields to you like regarding your introduction. So you have to complete all these fields like what is your name, what is your age, where you are coming from, where you are residing, and which languages you speak, what are you by profession, what are your hobbies. So once you're done with this, your introduction, they might post a question based on alphabets, or they might post a question based on the numbers. Like they might ask you, spell your email address or spell your surname, or like tell your telephone number, tell your passport number, tell your PIN code, like that, just to check how far you are good with numbers and alphabets. So coming to this second part, you have given four themes, and based on the theme you should be able to post a question to the other person. If you want to perform this module properly, means you should have a knowledge on the questioning pattern, what are the question classification, and then what is the right question for that particular theme. You should have all these things, knowledge of the posting the question. And not only that, posting a question, you should be able to answer the question from the other person. And coming to the part 3, this in this module you are given an image. Based on the image you should able to post a request to the other person. Especially when you are posting a request, the modal verb usage is very very important. So whether you can use a kyonen, whether you can use a durfen, whether you can use a wollen or a zollen, this is very very important. The modal verb usage is very very important. So based on that, you should post a question to the other person. Not only posting a question, you should able to answer the question from the other person. So with this, our complete A1 exam pattern is over. Now let us go to the second question. What topics are deemed essential and should be comprehensively covered in A1 course in accordance with the prescribed pattern? So as I mentioned in the video, this one is the modal verbs are very very important, and second one is separable and inseparable verbs, and third one is perfect tense, and the fourth one is the prepositions, and the next is the sentence cases, nominative, accusative, and dative. So you should have a proper knowledge on these topics, then you can comfortably clear your A1 Goethe certification. All the best.